give that man Halliburton his respect. Another game-winning, game go-ahead shot with point 0.3 seconds left. I cannot believe this game ended in a win for the Pacers. Whether the Pacers weren't able to come back or whether, the game ended how it did, this was such a good game on both sides, I thought. I wrote so many things about the game, especially in that first half, and it almost seems like none of it matters anymore just because they made the shot. Excuse me, sorry. But like all the turnover, right? OKC 19 turnovers. Um 19 turnovers in the first half they forced on the Indiana Pacers. Um Everything, they were just playing so scrappy. They were scramble defense, everything like that. Um Again, it's so hard to talk about anything I just wrote down because the Pacers actually ended up winning the game when this whole game, like, OKC was the better team in the first half, especially, but like, there's no chance. Like, this is insane. They did it against the Bucks, they did it against the Cavs, they did it against the Knicks, and now they're doing it against the best team in the league. Most go ahead or game tying field goals in final 5 seconds of fourth quarter or overtime since 97. LeBron had 8, Reggie Miller had 5, and Tyrese Halliburton has 5. That was the end of the list. They just showed it on TV, but I just it's insane. I don't even know what to do. Like, I had so many things written down, and now it seems almost pointless to talk about them. But we're gonna try. I mean, Halliburton didn't really get himself going. He ended up with 14, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Um, all the turnovers. We'll get to the turnovers numbers, but he had 3 himself. Siakam had 19 and 10. Toppin had 17 and 5 threes. Miles Turner had 15 points. Neesmith had 10 and 12. And then you look at OKC's side. Shea had himself a phenomenal game, 38 points. The steals, again, we will talk about when we get to that point, but 14 for 30, shot 47%, 3 for 6 from three, 7 for 8 from free throws. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it about the excessive free throws because that's a normal amount to have. Lou Dort had 15 on 5 threes. J-Dub had 17 on not the greatest shooting. And then, I mean, forget the points you get with the Thunder. Now you get into Lou Dort, Caruso, Hartenstein, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, even AJ Mitchell. Like, there were just so many defensive moments. But I'm gonna go through the things that I wrote down anyways. We saw the first big part of the series happen before the tip off happened. Just like I said when we were previewing this, I thought we were going to see lineups where Hartenstein wasn't starting. Case and Wallace started over Hartenstein in this first game, and um, I think that was the right thing to do. I mean, obviously they didn't come out with the win, but you look at your matchup on the other end. You look at how this first, like, how you play, how Indiana plays. I think that was the right decision, even after how game one ended. I mean, the first few minutes, like the first 2 minutes of the game, they weren't letting Siakam dribble the ball. He was just getting ripped, and this is when all the turnover stuff happened. Again, they, like, 6 minutes in, they had 3 turnovers. Then it got to like 7. Then it got to 9 in the first quarter, and then it got to 9 in the second quarter as well. And again, or 10 in the second quarter, whatever number it was. They ended with 19 in the first half, and then they ended this game, the Pacers, with 24. So the Pacers, whatever they talked about in the locker room changed it, but they changed some things around, which was great. I will say, if you are, quote, like, I don't know how to say this, I don't want to say struggling, but if you are looking at this series, I know it's hard to do now, But if you were still looking at this series and being like, OKC is going to demolish them now in 5 games, whatever, go into each game just open minded. Don't say, okay, Pacers need to win this series or Pacers need to win this game, excuse me. Oklahoma City needs to win this game and the next game, and then they can maybe give up another. Don't do that. Just go in open minded. Um, that's how you can get over this series might not be exciting. I mean, I don't know how you do that anymore after game one, anyways. But if for some reason you still are, then that's how. But both teams started really confident, like, and they stayed confident with what they did. Like, I thought it was super good that, like, Shea got himself going. He had, like, I think 9 of their first 14 points or something like that. Cason Wallace was shooting. He didn't shoot great, 3 for 9, 0 for 3 from 3. But they were confident. Same with the Pacers. I mean, Nemhard shot 11 shots, Toppin 9 shots, Turner 10. Neesmith shot 9 shots. He had a couple big threes down the stretch, like it seems like he always does. But the biggest thing that I noticed in that first quarter, especially the first half of that first quarter, is the Pacers were playing, and we're going to get to the Pacers. This is more the OKC side, but like the Pacers were playing good defense and not letting them get shots up, and they were forcing them to miss. But Oklahoma City was forcing the Pacers. They weren't even letting them shoot the ball. And I think that is how you need to go about this series on both sides, because both these teams in the regular season didn't turn the ball over. OKC only had 6 turnovers. You need to work on that. I know you're not a team necessarily that gets all these steals. I don't know what your numbers were exactly for the regular season, but I can't imagine they were top 3 or something like that. Like Oklahoma City obviously does, but there's so many things like the swarming defense. You would think when a team is scrambling and they're trying to switch and be like, oh, I got to get to the corner quick before someone shoots, like that's where defenses fall apart. That's how teams get open shots. No, that's what OKC wants. They give up a 3 if they're confident, they'll let Obi Toppin shoot threes, and if he makes them, he makes them. 5 for 8. That's what they did to him tonight. Aaron Neesmith 3 for 7 from 3. That's what they did to him. They're fine with giving up the 3 to certain players because that they know what they're good at. The scrambling defense, just it works. And again, I know a lot of these things, it's kind of hard to say because you ended up losing this game, but it's still amazing. It was still a great game for both teams. I thought that the Pacers, after that first quarter, I really thought that they were going to switch some things up and kind of, obviously Indiana is super fast paced and everything like that, but you got to just set up the offense. You got Halliburton, one of the best playmakers in the game. Sometimes you had to just look for a good shot, and they didn't really do that in the second quarter. I think it got better, but I think that's something they still need to, get better with for the next however long the series will go. The first quarter, I mean, Oklahoma City forced more turnovers on Indiana than they had field goals made. Again, not a great stat. Neesmith and Toppin both had 3 turnovers in the first quarter. Not great. And again, the whole like playing fast was messing them up. Like Indiana was able to figure out what worked against Cleveland, what worked against New York, these teams. But when you're going against the youngest team in the league, or whatever, maybe the third youngest team, whatever they are, they're near the top youngest team. That's just not something that I didn't think was going to work as well, and it really didn't. You saw Halliburton. He tried to push the pace after a made shot. The Thunder weren't having it. They were back. They were staying strong on defense, and it just wasn't like I thought. I just didn't think that was going to be as effective against this team. And yeah, I mean, okay, see that. I mean, again, a lot of the things I wrote were from the first half mainly, but I mean, you can get this production from Shea. You need a second guy to score though. I mean, J Dub 6 for 19, 17 points. 31% from the field. It's not going to cut it. I really thought the way that Chet opened this first few minutes, it looked like Chet was going to be super aggressive and everything. I mean, he ended with 6 points, 2 for 9 from the field, only played 24 minutes, but I thought Chet was going to be super aggressive, and he really wasn't this game. But I think OKC they need to one of the at least one of those guys need to step up because they can't rely on a 5 3-pointer made game from Lou Dort every game. They can't rely on. I mean, again, they didn't really have a second guy. Lou Dort had 15, J-Dub 17, and Caruso had 11. After that, it was Hartenstein with 9, who I thought had a really strong 17 minutes in this game, having 9 points, 9 rebounds. But again, when you go to the Pacers side, again, there wasn't. I wrote way more for Oklahoma City than what I'm about to talk about for the Pacers. We talked about how the Pacers were forcing OKC to miss. I thought they played good defense, like everything that they did. I thought Nemhard did a good job. Neesmith, I mean, I thought he did a good job too. He ended with 5 turnovers, though. They had a lot of offensive fouls in this game. Talking about Indiana, that I was kind of surprised with. I mean, if you want to go over turnover total, Siakam 1, Hallie 3, Nemhard 2, Toppin 3, Miles Turner 6, McConnell had 3, Mathurin had 1, Neesmith had 5. Only 2 players didn't have a turnover, and it was Thomas Bryant and Ben Shepherd, who played 9 minutes or less each. The turnovers, it's as disgusting as you would get that first half. But again, they won the game. They won the game, but they definitely need to tighten up on that. You cannot give up 24 turnovers every game. You can't. I mean, you need to realistically, you don't want to give up half that. You don't want to give up more than 12, if I'm being honest. And when you look at OKC, how close they were to getting this game, and they only gave up 6 turnovers, that's something that you want to really address. But I mean, Lou Dort's defense was impeccable. Like 4 steals, 2 blocks was great. Shea got his hand in the cookie jar a few times. He had 3 steals. Caruso 3 steals, 2 blocks. Casey Wallace had a steal and a block, and other players had either a steal or a block. But the turnovers obviously is the biggest story of the game, other than the game winner. But I did think that the Pacers were playing good defense, nonetheless. Like, again, say what you want about that first quarter. Shea, sure, he ended up with 38, but Nemhard did good about backing off, not letting Shea get the contact he wanted to draw. Lou Dort played strong. Obviously, his stocky self, first team all defense this year, and it showed. He had a nasty block on. I think it was Benedict Mathurin late in that game too. That team is like all guards, by the way. Other than Chet and Hartenstein, their main rotation, it's literally like all guards. Now, sure, they have players that play their forward position and play forward more often, like J-Dub, Wiggins, and even, I mean, Lou Dort. But if we're being honest, Shea's a guard. Lou Dort started off his career as a guard. J-Dub was a guard in college, I believe, and probably, yeah, he still could be. Caruso, guard slash forward. I'll give that to him. Hartenstein, obviously a big. Casey Wallace, guard. Chet is obviously the other big. But Isaiah Joe, guard. AJ Mitchell, guard. Wiggins, they have him listed as a guard. And then Kenrich Williams, who played like 30 seconds, is a guard slash forward. It's just a bunch of young, short, fast, athletic guards. And it's just insane what that team can do defensively. I feel like I talked about this also when we were previewing. Like, these teams, obviously, their star players and the guys up top are not similar. But when you look at their teams and how I feel like they operate defensively, these teams are really similar. Like they're trying to do similar things to each other. OKC is just the better team. And again, I'm saying all this about OKC, but Indiana deserves the most praise, of course. But these teams are similar, man, and I just don't understand. Like, obviously, we know who the favorite was, the heavy favorite. I'm sure they're still the heavy favorite even after game one. They like the Indiana's a good team. I don't know how many teams they need to go through to prove this. They did it last year. They got to the conference finals, and whatever you say, obviously, I'm a Celtic fan. I think last year the best team we played, even last year, I would have told you this. This isn't like a hindsight thing. This isn't like a recent memory thing. I thought the best team that the Celtics played all playoffs last year was the Indiana Pacers, not the Dallas Mavericks, even though they are the one team we swept last year, just because of how they operate and how good they are, how deep they are, and how they have people to just play good. And now, granted, I don't know if Benedict Mathurin was playing last year, but like other than that, this team is the same. Nemhard is the perfect off guard, man. Like there's nobody I would rather have. Like there's only a couple players in that conversation that are better to have at your off guard. It's him and maybe Derek White in the entire league. Amen Thompson, sort of a forward at this time in his career, set him too. Those three, I would say there's probably none better off the top of my head. But yeah, I think that's something that the Pacers can do. And the real reason that I think they can and will win games in this series is their 3-point play. In this game, the Pacers were 18 for 39, which is 46.2%. In Oklahoma City, this game was 11 for 30, which is 36.7%. So percentage wise, they knocked them out the water. They made 7 more threes. This team, like, they're just good. Like, their 3-point play, I think, is really what is going to win them games in this series. Because when you talk about playoffs, obviously it's all matchups based, but it's how you can differ yourself, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but how you can stand out versus your competition. And I think Oklahoma City is so amazing at so many things that it's hard for any team to do that. But the main thing that I really look at for them is the rebounding concerns me a little, and I mean they had 39 rebounds in this game. Talking about Oklahoma City, the Pacers had 56, and I don't look at the Pacers as this overly like top of the top rebounding team either, and it's their 3-point volume. People hate how much certain teams shoot, but there are games where this team Thunder really just don't care because Shea's not a main 3-point shooter, nor is J-Dub. They normally have started a center in Hartenstein, who's not a shooter. Caruso, and they have these other guys who are good shooters, but they don't. It's not because they're 4 for 7 every game. It's because they're 1 for 2, they're 1 for 1. They're doing so many other things. So I think that's something that the Pacers really can focus on and really attack the Oklahoma City Thunder for. But again, if this series I think is going to be good no matter what people say. The Thunder obviously are gonna still be my favorite. I'm not changing. I did say OKC in 5. I said there's a world where this could go 6, but the Pacers are showing why you cannot take them lightly. Sure, they don't have the sexiest name up top. They don't have a top 5 player. They don't have a top 8 player. They might not even have a top 12 player, but they're doing it as a team. And when you're doing it as a team, there's not much you can do. I mean, again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players all score double digits. Their whole starting lineup scored double digits, and Obi Toppin had 17 off the bench. And then you still get 5 from Mathurin, 9 from McConnell, 5 from Thomas Bryant, who only played 8 minutes and had a 3 himself. This is going to be a good series, and I can't wait to see what changes we see from Oklahoma City and Indiana, honestly, in game 2. But that's it. We're gonna keep talking about the finals. So make sure you tune in after each game to see a video about it. Subscribe. We're doing stuff all free agency, off season wise too, up until next season. But yeah, game one of the NBA Finals was such a great start to this final series.